Linus Wilson, and we're going to talk about the plot leak spoilers for The Witcher on Netflix for season 1, episode 8. The episode is entitled Much More. I believe it's based on the short story, the last short story in the short story book, Sword of Destiny, and that last short story is entitled Something More. And what does this title mean, right? It means that Henry Cavill's character, Geralt of Rivia, has a child surprise named Cirilla Fiona, Lion Cub of Sintra, Princess Ciri. But he says that destiny is not enough. You need something more to bring people together. And in this short story, we will see what more will bring him, Ciri, and Yennefer together. Okay, so there's uh, the things that I think we're going to deviate from the short stories of Andrezj Sapkowski. Number one, we see Geralt in what looks like Sintra. So I think Geralt will be in the sack of Sintra. So we saw the sack of Sintra in episode 1, and he will go to Sintra to try to get Ciri. But he's going to fail. Obviously, Ciri is told in the trailers by her grandmother, the lioness of Sintra, to go and find Geralt of Rivia. They're going to fail in that effort. They're going to miss each other. But I think Geralt will be there for part of the sack of Sintra, unlike the books where he's just told that it's sacked by Dandelion in the short story. Something more. The We're also going to see the Battle of Sodden Hill, which is something that really doesn't happen in the stories, but it's referred to in the stories. So we're going to see we see Vilgefortz, we see Tissaia, we see Sabrina Glevissig, we see Triss Merigold in these trailers and character introductions, etc. That show all these sorcerers, and they're going to go against Fringilla Vigo and the Nilfgaardians and all this fire and stuff. I think it's probably going to be the Battle of Sodden. Definitely if it involves the Northern Alliance sorceresses. So Fringilla Vigo is fighting for the Nilfgaardians, and the other sorceresses and Vilgefortz are fighting for the northern kingdoms, who are allied against the invaders, the Nilfgaardian invaders from the south. Okay, so I think all the pictures that you see of Yennefer, Anya Shalatra, in the kind of uh, the ropey, there's she on the tower by the fire, and I think also on the beach, you see her in that kind of ropey dress. I think that's going to be from episode 8, and that's going to be around the Battle of Sodden Hill. And there's some dispute. Basically, Redanian intelligence reported from Luca that um, that Yennefer's dress that you see with the kind of the people cavorting in the background, that was where Geralt and she met, and that was kind of indicated by the trailer. The first, let's see, I think the first official trailer coming out of Luca. But then, if you look at the character introduction to Yennefer or the final trailer, it seems like she's in that same outfit, but instead she's talking about the Nilfgaardians, and she's talking to Tissaia. So, my feeling is that the people cavorting in the background, if you want to be consistent with the books, that seems like Bellatane, which happens in Something More, which is a festival where they're loosening their morals, right? And that's how Geralt and Yennefer get back together. And then Yennefer says to Geralt, you need to help Ciri, right? And so I think that makes a lot of sense story wise, and for them to kind of get rid of that, especially when they show a similar scene and make that as part of the last wish, doesn't make a lot of sense personally. Maybe it will be that scene with her in the mask will be from episode 5, but I kind of think it's going to be in episode 8, because we see Yennefer talking to Saya in that same outfit. And I think she's going to be talking to Saya because Saya wants her to fight in the Battle of Sodden, and Yennefer's like, why would I want to do that? That's crazy. And Yennefer is kind of, if you think of the sorceresses in the books, she is very a neutral sorceress, right? That her stake in the game is for Ciri, that she loves Ciri, but she's not really that political. That she's not, and even in like the Last Wish, it's like she gets involved in politics just because she dislikes people, but they're not. It's not like she wants political power. It's just kind of like settling scores. That was her politics. That was about it. Whereas Triss is very political, and very politically manipulative and very into political power. And so it's not surprising to me. It's very in line with her character that she would be like, I don't know if I really want to be in the Battle of Sodden. I don't think I want to choose sides, and that kind of puts her worldview very close, much closer to that of Geralt, who always is leaning towards neutrality if possible, but it's usually not possible. Okay, so I think we're going to see Geralt go to Sintra, fail. My guess is he's going to meet up with Yennefer, and they're going to resolve their relationship. And Yennefer is going to spur him on to see Ciri. We're going to see the Battle of Sodden Hill. Uh, there's a good chance that Geralt will also encounter this Yaruga guy. And Yaruga is a merchant who is in this really dangerous place. Um, I think in the official trailer from Luca, they showed something that looked like a ghoul. You might also say it's a necker if you're a game player. I think in the books, in something more, it does not specify the group of monsters that attack him, but Geralt is hurt by this, and while he's hurt, he is he has a number of dreams, and one of the dreams is the dream with Yennefer. So that could show up as a dream sequence. It could also show up as uh, just like in the timeline. And then Geralt, uh, before he defends Yaruga, he invokes the law of surprise, saying that he wants to have what he doesn't expect, Yaruga doesn't expect at home. So the idea is that if Yaruga has a baby boy, then he's going to take that as a Witcher. But and Yaruga's like, okay, whatever, I'm going to die, and I don't. But Yaruga really wants to save what's in his cart because he thinks that he'll make a lot of money from it. And so, and this, so uh, while Geralt is an invalid, he dreams of Yennefer and the Bellatane, and then they return to Sodden. So Yurga, sorry, not Yaruga, but Yurga, the merchant, is from Sodden. Um, you know, Geralt also dreams of the visiting, trying to find the child at age 6. I think they're going to cut that out. I haven't seen any evidence, and I think they're running out of time. So I think they're going to cut that scene out where he goes to has a long conversation with Calenthe, and they banter about words about and basically Calenthe has like 12 boys playing around, but I don't think Siri is in it at all. And she tries to get him to choose, but he won't choose, and he says he won't invoke the law of surprise, that he won't take Siri ever. Um, uh, it's just really wordy, and so I think one of the things is kind of very consistent with the way that Lauren Hissrich has talked about this is that she's really kind of Carol is a very wordy character. He does a lot of talking in the books, and he's a man of letters. He's not just a great swordsman. He's also a thinker and a talker. And what the way that Hisrich is having him played is that she's taking most of the words out of him, right? They're getting rid of most of his dialogue, and this has been confirmed by um, Henry Cavill in interviews too. That Geralt does a lot of grunting, does a lot of physical acting, but doesn't get to do a lot of talking. And they're having the ladies do the talking, right? So uh, they like him as a strong, silent type, I guess. So, anyways, this whole scene with him and Queen Calanthe when Ciri is 6, right? Many years before this flashback, while Geralt is an invalid. That, uh, you know, that's a lot of talking. It seems like the kind of thing they would cut out. Um, I do think we are going to see a Vicenna, and we might even see Geralt's father, who in the books is referred to as a swashbuckler. Uh, but Vicenna heals Geralt, right? She's a healer and a sorceress, right? And it was unusual for a sorceress to be able to give birth, but she gave birth to Geralt, and then she gave him over to the School of the Wolf, and he became a Witcher, and he didn't know his family. But he meets Vicenna, his mother, and as she's healing him, but then she kind of like puts him to sleep, so they don't talk about it a lot. Okay, so um, now after the Battle of Sodden, it's believed that Triss Merigold is dead. She's one of the 14. She's not dead. So one of the big violations of the game in the games is that you can see kind of Trish should have like a big scar from that she's not able to magically remove. But the games you never see that. Let's see. But she does survive, even though it's said that she's dead. And Geralt is scared to death that Yennefer's on that list, and there's a lot of pages devoted to that. But I think they could get rid of that pretty quick. That he's worried that Yennefer's on the list, and he finds out Yennefer's not on the list. He actually meets death in this story, but I don't think that's going to happen in this. I don't think that's going to happen in the Netflix series. Um, Okay, so he gets to Yaruga's house. We don't know where Ciri is. Ciri's been running the whole time. Or, I'm sorry, Yurga's house. Yaruga is the river, and Yurga is the merchant. So, and he lives on the Yaruga. Uh, Go figure that. Okay, so Yurga on the Yaruga River. Uh, let's see. They get home, and Yurga's like, my wife is barren and she can't have any more kids, but you could have one of my sons. Making them a Witcher seems as good as anything, and and then he comes there and Ciri is there, right? So his wife Zatolitka is his wife, has adopted this orphan girl, and it happens to be Ciri. He wasn't expecting it. And then Ciri runs up, hugs Geralt, and Ciri says, "It's just like they predicted, Geralt. Like they predicted, I'm your destiny. Say it, I'm your destiny." And then Geralt says, "You're more than that, Ciri. More than that." So there you go. You're much more. Maybe he'll even say you're much more. That is the season 1, episode 8. I do think they are going to reunite Ciri and Geralt on it because it will end the season on a high note. I don't think it would be a cliffhanger if they didn't find her. I think it'd just be like, eh. That's my guess. Is they're going to end with Ciri and Geralt reuniting. I don't know that they will ever, because it's not 100% sure that they're going to meet in Brokilon. It's kind of likely they won't meet in Brokilon as in the books. So maybe they're first getting together. So I think that they got to put Ciri and Geralt together at one point during the season. That would be my say. But they could leave that for a cliffhanger, but I don't think so. I think they're going to put it in there, and Ciri and Geralt will be reunited. So I think they've, like, for instance, they've screened the first 5 episodes like a couple weeks ago with people that signed all these agreements and stuff. It was amazing that the people that they put on, that they allowed doing that. I mean, people that I would think that are not associated with any major media outlet, that have like a small YouTube channel or a small podcast. So they gave that offer to a lot of people, but they saw the first 5 episodes, but not 6, 7, and 8. So you heard it here first about what's going to be in season 1, episode 6, 7, and 8. I'm Linus Wilson. Subscribe, hit the bell notification icon. I sign no agreements. We do tips and tricks for the Witcher games. We cover fantasy TV, such as The Witcher Netflix, and the Game of Thrones spin-off House of the Dragon.